Hello and welcome, my dear friends. Today I want to start with something very important, something that will touch the lives of thousands of Australian seniors. Imagine this, you check your bank account one morning and suddenly there is an extra $4,800 waiting for you. For many people, that amount of money can change so much. It can pay for bills, groceries, medication, heating in the winter, or even something simple but meaningful like treating your grandchildren to a special day out. That is why today's topic matters. This is not just about numbers on a page. This is about security, dignity, and hope for older Australians who have worked hard all their lives and now deserve to live with comfort and peace of mind. Before we dive deeper into the details of these new payments, I want to ask you something important. If you are new here or if you find these updates helpful, please take just a second to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. By doing that, you won't miss any future updates that could affect your pension, your Centrelink payments, or your financial well-being. This channel is here to help you stay informed and supported. So go ahead, subscribe now, and let's continue this journey together. Now, let's start breaking down what is really going on with these $4,800 payments. There has been a lot of news, a lot of confusion, and many seniors are wondering if they are eligible, when they will be paid, and how this will affect their regular benefits. The truth is, these payments are part of an important effort to help Australians, especially older people, during times of rising costs. We all know how tough things have become lately. Prices are going up everywhere: food, rent, electricity, fuel, even basic medical expenses. Many seniors live on fixed incomes, and when costs rise, but your income does not, it feels like you are slowly being squeezed. That is why the government has announced these additional payments. They are meant to give breathing room, to ease some of the pressure, and to make sure seniors are not left behind. Let's take a closer look at the background of these payments. Over the past few years, there has been increasing concern about the standard of living for older Australians. The age pension is meant to provide support, but for many people, it just isn't enough to cover the rising costs of modern life. This is where top-up payments, bonuses, or one-off financial support often come in. These are not random handouts. They are carefully planned measures to respond to economic challenges like inflation or global crises that affect household budgets. When the government steps in with extra money, it is usually because they recognize that people are struggling and they want to provide relief. Now, you might be asking, how exactly does this $4,800 payment work? Is it for everyone? The answer is that not every single person will get it automatically, but a very large group of seniors will be eligible. Typically, these types of payments are linked to Centrelink benefits such as the age pension, the disability support pension, the carer payment, or other welfare supports. The government uses the existing Centrelink system because it already has the details of who needs financial assistance the most. If you are receiving one of these benefits, there is a strong chance that you will either receive the payment in full or at least a portion of it. One of the most common questions I hear is, when will the money actually arrive? This is very important because planning your household budget depends on timing. Based on official announcements, the payments are expected to roll out in stages. That means not everyone will see the money at the same time. Instead, Centrelink will process it in batches, making sure the system runs smoothly. For most people, it will appear directly in their bank account linked to Centrelink. You do not need to apply separately or fill out any complicated forms. It will be automatic if you qualify. That is a relief, because many seniors find the paperwork overwhelming. But let's pause for a moment and think about what $4,800 really means for the average senior. Imagine you are living on just the age pension, which is around $1,096 per fortnight for singles, or about $1,653 for couples combined. That covers the basics, but it doesn't leave much left over for emergencies. Now add $4,800 in a year. That's an extra $400 each month. That can pay for groceries. That can cover electricity bills. That can help you buy better food, afford medications, or even put something aside for Christmas or birthdays. For many seniors, this is not just money, it is peace of mind. It is the difference between struggling and breathing a little easier. I want to take a moment to speak directly to you, my friends. If you are sitting at home worrying about money, please know that you are not alone. Millions of Australians are in the same situation. The good news is that help is coming. This payment is not charity. It is recognition of the contribution you have made to this country over your lifetime. Whether you worked in an office, a factory, a school, a hospital, or even if you raised a family at home, your hard work built the society we all live in today. You deserve to be cared for in your later years, and these payments are one step toward making that happen. Now, let's talk about the eligibility rules in more detail, because I know many of you will be wondering if you qualify. In most cases, the payments are available to seniors who are already receiving the age pension or related Centrelink benefits. This includes single pensioners, couples, and in some cases, part pensioners who meet the income and asset tests. If you are already in the Centrelink system and you receive regular payments, you are very likely to see this money. On the other hand, if you do not currently receive any Centrelink benefits, you may need to check if you are eligible to apply. Sometimes people assume they don't qualify when in fact they do, especially if their income or assets have changed. It is always worth checking with Centrelink or using the online calculators to see where you stand. Another question that comes up is, will this payment affect other benefits? That is a fair concern because sometimes extra money can reduce other entitlements. But in this case, the payment is structured as a supplement or bonus. It is not counted as ordinary income for the purposes of Centrelink means testing. That means you do not need to worry about losing other payments because of this. It will not reduce your pension. It will not reduce your rent assistance. It is extra support, plain and simple. Let's also address how these payments fit into the bigger picture. Australia has one of the most complex welfare systems in the world, and it is constantly changing. Every year, there are new rules, new indexation rates, and new supplements. It can be very confusing. That is why channels like this exist, to help cut through the noise and give you clear, trustworthy information. This $4,800 payment is part of a broader set of measures designed to protect seniors from financial stress. It is not the only help available. There are also energy rebates, rent assistance increases, and other targeted supports. Together, these can make a real difference in your life. Friends, I want you to really think about how you can use this payment wisely. For some people, it will be a chance to finally fix something in the home, like repairing a leaky roof or replacing an old fridge. For others, it might be used to pay down debt or catch up on unpaid bills. Some may choose to save it for the future. However you use it, remember that this money is for you. It is meant to ease your burden, to give you back some control and security. And while we are talking about control, let me give you an important piece of advice. Always keep an eye on your Centrelink account, either online through MyGov or by checking your bank account regularly. Sometimes mistakes happen and payments can be delayed. If you think you are eligible but you don't see the money, do not be afraid to contact Centrelink and ask questions. It is your right to get what you are entitled to. Do not let bureaucracy scare you. Stand up for yourself because you matter. I also want to acknowledge that while $4,800 is a lot of money, it will not solve every problem. Many seniors are still facing serious financial struggles. Housing costs are rising, healthcare can be expensive, and inflation continues to eat away at purchasing power. But every bit of support helps, and this payment is a step in the right direction. It shows that the government is listening to seniors and that your voices are being heard. Now, I know this is a long conversation, but we are going to go deeper. Over the next part of this video, I will explain the history of these types of payments, why they keep happening, and what it tells us about the future of pensions in Australia. We will also look at expert opinions, possible future increases, and practical tips on how to make the most of this extra money. Let's continue, my friends. In the first part, we talked about the importance of this $4,800 payment, how it can make a difference in everyday life, and who is most likely to receive it. Now, let's go deeper into the background, why these payments exist, what role they play in Australia's social safety net, and how they reflect the changing needs of our society. For decades, the age pension has been the backbone of retirement income in Australia. It was designed to ensure that older Australians would not fall into poverty after a lifetime of work. But over time, the cost of living has grown faster than many pension increases. That is why governments have often stepped in with one-off payments, cost of living supplements, or energy relief bonuses. These are not random decisions. They are responses to real pressures faced by seniors. Every time you hear about a new payment like this $4,800, it is the result of policymakers looking at rising inflation, housing stress, and energy bills and realizing that ordinary pension rates simply are not enough. Let me share a little history with you. In the past 20 years, there have been many times when the government has introduced top-up payments. For example, during the global financial crisis in 2008 and 2009, pensioners received lump sum payments to help them cope with economic uncertainty. More recently, during the COVID-19 pandemic, there were multiple rounds of stimulus payments given to seniors and welfare recipients. Each time, the message was the same: when times are tough, the most vulnerable in society need extra support. The $4,800 payments are part of this long tradition of making sure that no one is left behind. But here's the difference with this payment. Instead of being a single lump sum, the $4,800 is structured in a way that spreads out across the year. That makes it easier for seniors to budget and plan, rather than receiving one large amount and trying to make it last. Think of it as a reliable supplement, coming in regularly, like a steady helping hand that keeps you going. This approach shows that the government is learning from past experiences. They know that regular, predictable support works better for most people than one-off surprises. Now let's talk about the economy, because this is the part that confuses many people. Some seniors wonder, why can the government afford to pay us more now? The answer is that these payments are funded through tax revenue and national budgeting. When inflation rises, the government has to find ways to help people cope without making the situation worse. By targeting payments to pensioners and welfare recipients, they are giving money to the people who will actually spend it. Seniors use this money on food, electricity, and medical needs, not on luxury yachts or overseas holidays. That means the money goes straight back into the local economy, helping small businesses and keeping communities strong. So in a way, when you receive this payment and spend it wisely, you are also helping the whole country. I want you to stop and think about that for a moment. Too often, seniors are made to feel like a burden on society. But the truth is, you are not a burden, you are a backbone. You worked, you paid taxes, you raised families, you built communities. And even now, every dollar you spend supports jobs and businesses. The $4,800 payment is not charity, it is recognition of your ongoing value. Now, let's talk about how seniors can prepare for these payments. The first step is awareness. Many seniors miss out on benefits simply because they don't know they exist. That is why it's so important to share this information with your friends, family, and community. If you know someone who is on the age pension or disability support pension, make sure they are aware of this payment. Encourage them to check the Centrelink account, look out for official letters, or speak to a financial counselor if they are unsure. A simple conversation can make the difference between someone receiving the support they need and struggling in silence. Another important step is planning. When you know an extra $400 a month is coming, think carefully about how to use it. Maybe you have been putting off dental work or a medical checkup because of cost. Maybe you have a debt hanging over your head that keeps you awake at night. Maybe you want to build a small emergency savings fund. Planning ahead means that when the money arrives, you won't waste it. You will use it in a way that truly improves your life. I also want to emphasize the importance of avoiding scams. Sadly, whenever there are government payments, there are also scammers trying to take advantage of seniors. They might call you pretending to be from Centrelink or send fake emails asking you to provide your bank details. Please, my friends, never share your personal information unless you are absolutely certain you are dealing with the real Centrelink. Remember this, you do not need to apply separately for this payment. If you are eligible, it will be deposited automatically into your bank account. No one from Centrelink will call you out of the blue asking for your details. If you ever feel unsure, hang up and call Centrelink directly using the official number. Protect yourself and protect your money. Now let's consider the bigger impact of this payment. Beyond the immediate relief, it sends a strong signal about the direction of pension policy in Australia. Governments are under increasing pressure to ensure that seniors are not left behind. The population is aging, which means there are more retirees than ever before. At the same time, costs are rising, especially in housing and healthcare. The $4,800 payment is a recognition that pensions alone are not enough. It may also be a sign of future reforms, where regular supplements become a permanent feature of the system. Friends, we are living through a time of change. The world is uncertain, but one thing is clear: seniors deserve to live with dignity. This payment is not just about money, it is about respect. It is about acknowledging the sacrifices you have made and giving you back some security in return. And let me remind you again, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. This community is here to keep you informed, to answer your questions, and to make sure you never miss out on the support you deserve. Every week, we share updates about Centrelink, pensions, and financial help for seniors. Don't go through this alone. Join our family here, and let's support each other.